allowed one. Yes. Only one which we did the cassava, that was the one which was on the public, and we were restricted. We had only a few women. We cannot
Uh-huh.
have a big in number. But
Yeah.
the situation there was very tight because what happened was very, very bad. It is, we
Actually,
don't know.
people really touched. People were really touched, and you could tell the expression, the sharing they were saying about the incidents that happened, explaining about what happened. They really felt bad. At the end, they really showed the consent to say, actually, the person who was really killed had a negative impact on what really happened that day. So they came out and they showed love, and most of them they had to show mercy to the same family that did that, because they had to understand to say the same person was in the long side of the matter.
Mm.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so, so
Mm.
mainly,
So many conflicts, personal conflicts of a certain group against another group, that type of thing.
no,
Yes.
anyway, maybe you can tell him, well, this was a case of a woman
Yeah, the
killing killing
violence were,
another woman. Yes,
Killing
yes.
another woman.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the woman caught adultery with his husband and a certain woman. And on that instance, she didn't want to commit that bad thing, but because this man has been betraying the wife for 3 years, she was just hearing rumors. Sometimes she can see it herself, direct doing such things. But this day, we don't know what happened because everybody was shocked. What
Mm.
happened? Yeah, she just took the dry stick and started beating that woman until to death. So, but when the police came, they just asked one question to say, if you men who are around here found your another man doing such things with your wife, what can you do?
Mm.
And they all say, It's killed straight. We have to kill that man or that woman." So that's how this incident went. But they were caught by the police. They were hand up for 2 to 3 days. They were released because they found this woman, although she did that, she was not guilty. According to the actives which this woman did. In fact, yeah, she has been doing it all these years behind her.
Yeah.
So that this is the instance which we found there. When the day we just arrived there, that is what happened. And
So
to make
everybody
matters
was
worse,
taken up by that situation, and that's the only thing they paid attention to. Yeah, I understand. Terrible,
yes, yes,
tragic things. But after that, you had the chance to communicate really your other things, the cassava project and what you were planning and all that.
yes, we did. Because from that, we had this confidence of now meeting people. Although we were doing the two meetings we did in hiding because nobody should know that we have these meetings. But lucky enough, we cooperated with the three chief headmen who were
Ah,
very interested in the project, the cassava processing, also in the humanism activities because
yeah,
they had this intention to see because Dr. Kaunda was doing the humanism all along
yes,
his
yeah,
presidential yeah,
mm,
leadership. So they
mm,
were very much interested. And looking at the situation which has been doing in that area, people are very primitive. They don't know what is good, what is bad. But
uh-huh,
they were attached in these private two meetings because we had few men who are all leaders from that side. And they said, they told us to say, they can since the councillor is the one who broke all the activities, nobody should make a gathering like that because of that incident. Maybe the police can suspect something. So, but these headmen were coming to us and do the meeting in the hiding. They were very happy to say, when you come back, because the councillor has stopped all activities. But the councillor said, when we go there, the councillor will be working with us because we are going to speak about peace every time there, and
yeah,
people should learn about this peace. which they were learning in the past, because I remember, because I met some colleagues whom we were together at school in that place long time ago, and they were happy to say, no, so this is what you are working on now. Because when we were young, when the president is coming or maybe the minister is visiting the school, we have to line up and receive that person peacefully, because there were humanism activities every time. And they said, if we start doing this, I think we can help these communities around here to be better persons again as they were in
Yeah,
the past.
very
Yes.
nice. Very good idea. No? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And we went further to discuss a lot of things, because they don't have anything to do there. And once we introduce, in fact, we have introduced already the cassava processing. And what only they need is to learn some of the preparation, which we didn't touch. So when they learn that, because they have one day which they have a market there, people coming from Luapula, crossing Luapula, because we are along the Luapula, and the people are coming from the other side,
Mm.
also other side in Pika and the other places. They have made a small market, although it is small at the moment, or many people goes there to sell their products. So they are looking forward to introduce also that product to those people who are coming from afar. So I was very, very interested, and I'm very happy, because I know I have found people who can start spreading the news now from a
Fantastic.
village
So
to
good.
another village. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
That's very good because that's like the forums work. I mean, when and also there is some trade activities, some commercial activities since ancient times.
Yes.
It's when people met to discuss things that have to do with
Okay,
the
yes,
community.
yes,
Also, were fairs where they could sell the produce or learn how to do better or etc. So it's a
Exactly.
perfect setting, no?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah. 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 And
And I
because
was
we
telling Julius yesterday that we can apply that scheme of things in many other countries in Africa because the conditions are similar in communities in
yes,
the
yes.
country, villages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, please. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very nice.
Actually, actually, Antonio, what I did was sharing with Miniver your article in Presenza when uh, Dr. Kaunda died.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you were telling the stories of how Kaunda was connected to the Humanist International and all these things. And also in that article is a video where Silo is reading from the, I think he's, I don't know, what is he reading in the video, Silo?
Well, he wrote a story because he wrote a book of short stories, and one of them is called Kaunda,
Yes,
and
yes,
and
yes,
and it tells his experience and of visiting Zambia and seeing what were the conditions in the presidential residence and etc. And the discussions that they had is that type of story that is within the short stories that he wrote for general entertaining and information.
yes, yes,
And there are considerations about how the transnationals imposed lots of conditions, and Kaunda couldn't do all the things that he wanted to do as a humanist, as you say,
yes, yes, yes,
because he declared his way of thinking as a humanist.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
always he was constrained because of the manipulation of the transnationals over the copper industry and this type of stories. And yeah,
Yeah.
in the end,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
country didn't give credits to the country, and they wanted to bring in on its knees, etc. Plus, was a
Yes.
problem in South Africa because in South Africa they had Nelson Mandela was the apartheid, and Kaunda very bravely offered shelter to the people of the ANC. And when they came to Zambia, they could talk, organize, and Oliver Tambo and people like that. So really was a very important contribution, although he could not develop the country in the way that he wanted.
Yes,
because
yes.
the British were very resentful also because he wanted to be independent. It was the first of all that group of countries that claim its independence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kaunda
And
was telling me that they took even the rails because they had a system of railways and all that. Even removed the rails and took them back to Britain. That
Wow.
mean they were, no?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you went with Silo to visit Kaunda in 1989.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
had the Humanist International. That was an association of all the humanist parties in different countries, and then we had the a big conference in Italy in Milan. I think it was Milan, yeah,
Florence,
in
Florence.
Florence, and they are the foundational act of the international as such took place, and so the ambassador of Zambia was invited because we knew that he represented Kaunda's regime that was humanist. And also, we proposed them to be represented in the Humanist International. And that was the beginning of that relationship. But a group of humanists from Spain had visited President Kaunda a year before. And he invited them also, he received them, he listened to them. They present him with some of the books that we had published at the time. And so the relationship had already been started, and he was always very receptive and very open. Uh, and we appreciated that very much. And so the ambassador came to the international, and immediately after, it has been organized that Silo could come for a few days as a visitor of President Kaunda and like a state visit. And so I went there because I lived in London and I was Secretary of Communications of the Humanist International and also a friend of Italy who was very good in filming. So he came as a rapporteur and to take all the films, and I came as an interpreter and representing the organization. So it was a very small um, delegation, but with the right people who had all the conditions to be there. And it worked very smoothly, and Kaunda was very open and all his team, and then we had good discussions there. And
Yeah.
that relationship continued. And as a result of that visit or not, I don't know, he in 1991 he called for an election that he had not called for many years, and there is where Chiluba came into power, and that was the end of Kaunda's manner of doing things, the style that he had that was very sober and was much more oriented to the people. And he left power, and that's it. Later on, he tried to contest elections, but he didn't have funds. And so we met in London, and I put him in contact with some of the people who had connections with Africa. Like, for example, the owner of Virgin Company with the airplanes, is one of the British tycoons that Kaunda wanted to see and ask him for support in order for him to contest an election. But the owner of Virgin really he went around. He said he had to consult with the Foreign Office, and the British didn't want Kaunda to go back there. No?
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
that was the problem. But we continue in that friendship, and every time he came to London, he called me, and we met, and we discussed what was happening with the party in Zambia, and so we developed that relationship for many years. And
Mhm.
in the early 90s, no, in the middle 90s, my wife and I, we have started a foundation called the Foundation for Human Development, where we were training long time unemployed people in repairing computers and also in computing skills, computers that we got donated from companies, etc. And we invited in one of these trips President Kaunda to talk to the volunteers who were there and to the people training. And he was very happy. So I mean, we went, he visited, he talked to them, and then he said some words for everyone. And so that was his support to other projects in other places. And he later on he spent all the rest of his life supporting the HIV because one of his children died with he was HIV positive and he got AIDS, and he dedicated himself to that cause and to other charities in different countries. So it's a great humanist, I would say.
Yes.
But working in very difficult conditions, the same as Nelson Mandela. Also, Nelson Mandela was exceptional, and the international pressure forced the apartheid government in South Africa to free him. But he spent like 27 years in prison. So,
Yes, yes, yes.
so
So this is
really, those were the leaders of the libertarian movements in Africa, but they couldn't achieve all the things that they would have liked.
yes, yes,
And we have enormous respect and admiration for all of them.
yes. Now this is very interesting, and also how this, in a way, this memory of the humanism. I remember when I was building with Minerva the humanist movement in Zambia.
Mm.
Then we uh, we heard from people that in their old days they had when we had elderly people or grown up people. They said that they had been in the primary school. Then
Yeah.
humanism was a subject to one.
I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
Yes, that's very, very interesting. So
Yeah.
in a way, like you said, Miniver, that
Yes.
you only needed to mention the word humanism, and then this memory was there.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes. My old members, yeah, my colleagues, my
yeah,
former colleagues and so.
yeah.
Yes.
And probably you, Miniver, learned about humanism when you were in a child in primary school, no?
Yes, because every week when we had a period of humanism, we call it Humanism Week, and in that week we have to do activities. For
Okay,
example, yeah, cleaning all the people's houses,
okay,
cleaning it in the roads, helping in different ways. Yeah,
okay.
Fantastic.
we
Fantastic. Yeah.
Humanism Week, and in
Yeah,
fact, even now it has started a little bit, and this is why this year we want also to participate as humanist members here in Zambia. We
yeah,
want we
yeah.
will find out. Yeah, I will find out before that time so that we start participating, doing the activities in our communities.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
And then another aspect of this story of your trip is that you were also presenting to them, or you discussed this research on resilient crops that the
yes,
Zambian Agricultural Research Institute in Mount Makulu in your compound.
yeah,
There you
yes,
have an office, and you said that even in Chipundu, your area of birth, there
yeah,
is a small
yes.
office there.
Yeah, because they said people were there. They were saying maybe there are two or three officers at that
Yeah.
site
Yes.
who are helping with this program, FISIP program here in Zambia, where people get fertilizer and inputs
Yeah.
for their farming. Yes, those are the people which we are going to discuss with them now
Yeah.
for the research site, because the
Yeah.
headman we are already agreed on giving us a piece of land where we can
Okay.
start researching because we found some of the cassavas has started rotting now. Yeah, we don't know. They don't know
Okay.
what disease has come in. We don't know exactly.
Yes,
So we
yes,
need to engage those people. Yes, but before I go, I have to go and consult from Mount Makuru to find out what can make such things be in such a state now.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Also, where they can get where we can get good planting cassava stocks.
yes, yes,
I'll find out from there, yes, because maybe that the one which they are using could be not a good variety for that land. We don't
yes,
know exactly because we need to sit down with the Zari people to find is it the land or maybe is it because it is too watery, too water.
yes,
There are a lot of water there because of the Luapula River, the
yes.
big river. Yes.
There
Yeah,
were
so we need
yes, there are swamps there.
yeah, there are also swamps. Yes, there are a
Yes,
lot of
yes,
swamps. Yes, and
yes.
so many small rivers coming from Luapula. So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is
yeah,
a
yeah,
site. Yes.
yes,
So we need to find out before
yeah,
it is too late because most of them have lost their crops.
yes.
Yeah.
I think this research of the resilient crops that can be cultivated without without the
Fertilizer.
yeah the synthetic fertilizers, so
Yes.
that it
Yes.
can be self-sustained crops. This
Yes.
could
Yes.
also, I was telling Antonio about this, and he was saying perhaps there is some thing that can be of use in other other African countries or even all over the world.
Yeah. I think so. Yes.
Yes,
It's
yes,
very right.
And
Yeah.
also
Mm.
there is other crops in Latin America that they are very similar,
Yeah.
like one called yuca. You know that is similar to cassava, I
No.
think. Is a
Okay.
tubercle also, and maybe once you have started, you could
Yeah.
establish some link with our similar communities there, and then you can try some of those prototypes.
yeah, yeah,
Because
Yes.
yeah,
if
Yes.
I am not wrong, the in Peru, I think they are very popular. It's ancient, the cultivation of the
Okay.
yucca.
yeah,
And
Okay.
so you can
Good.
try some other species that probably can be stronger to whatever is that is affecting the rotting the
Crops.
plants or doing things the
Yeah.
crops. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
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 And
It's very good.
for that, cassava originate in Brazil.
Is it? Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
originally.
Because I had a colleague in Ghana who came from Brazil. We
Yeah.
Mm.
were in the same. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So it
So
would be
we,
good to establish now that the new government is there, that is socialist, and then would be possible to establish some connections with communities of agricultures at
Yeah.
a village level that could create some exchanges that are favorable
yeah,
for
yeah,
both countries. Huh?
yeah,
Mm,
Yes. That can be better.
yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Therefore,
It can be
I
possible. Yes.
yes.
In the African
Therefore, I think
countries. Yes.
yeah. Therefore, I think that our African Human Forum plan is so fascinating.
Mm,
Like
Yes.
starting by the very root of where the people live to solve the essential aspects of keeping alive and having societies. And then,
Yes.
as we spread this process to more African countries, and always on the way to Pan-African and the global forum, so then we can
Yes.
see how a constant, or what you call the constant global forum available because of the technicality of the internet will be kind of a great market of ideas and
mm,
means in which to humanize
yes. Yeah.
place everywhere.
So that's very very good.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
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 So what is the next steps that you have in mind with and Max also? What is he going to develop and audiovisually?
Yeah, Max is working on a studio right now. Have you seen him? Is a friend's studio in town whom they have
Oh,
connected to.
uh-huh,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
they call it Mondo Studio, and it's a published, well-known studio in Zambia. So
Yes.
they are the ones also, yeah, whom they are connected because Max they are doing movies, songs, and the other
Mm.
arts. So yeah, so they have found that they can work
Oh,
together.
good.
Yes. And also for the project in the villages, because we promised two sites. We went to Chitambo this time, and now the next site is in Impika. We don't know the village who is going to take us because there are many there also. So this is our next move again before
Hmm.
we do anything else here in Lusaka. Yeah,
Fantastic.
because
So
in
good
Lusaka
ideas
we are
and good
farmers.
projects and good everything.
Yeah.
And if
Yes,
he has the time, he could produce some video also to explain the basics of
yes, yes, yes,
humanism
yes,
and the promotion of non-violence and etc.
yes,
We
yes, please.
uh, Tony Robinson, he just reviewed the materials that were used for that initial course in nonviolent journalism, and he sent me the
Yes,
files, and so I intend to put them all together, and I will give them to Julius, who will pass them to you and to Max. Hmm?
yes. Thank you
From
very much.
from there, he
Thank
can
you.
take some ideas, and he can produce small productions that can help to show in the villages, etc., to people. I mean,
Yes, yes.
with your computer or with the telephones or whatever, where they can form an idea of the things that we are saying.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when people have the visual image, is completely different. No? The understanding.
Yes, yes, please. Yeah, because those materials can also help us. Yeah, people
Exactly.
can see that these things are real rather
Mm.
than just talking from our mouth alone. Although we
Yes.
can
Yeah.
bring something good for them, but still
Yes.
they can
Yeah.
have that lacking of seeing something reality.
So you can
Yes,
film something about cassava where you present the project and etc. And they can see some
yes,
pictures of here and there. And well, all these
yes,
things are
yes,
make it much more didactical to communicate and to teach people who are not on the same page. Huh? Oh,
yes,
it's
yes.
fantastic.
It's very
Yeah.
true. It's
Mm.
very true. Yes.
And
Yeah.
then in Lusaka, you told me that uh, there are more Irene.
Yeah. Irene, Miss Membe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yes.
their
And
projects, they are building their, uh, they are moving towards building their African Humanist Forum
yes.
based teams.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
because tomorrow is Wednesday. I think I'm going to visit them to be
Okay.
with them in their meeting. Although it is a working meeting, I will disturb them instead of going on Friday. Yeah, it's too
Yeah.
far for me. I have to
Yes.
go and see what they are doing in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Interesting.
Irene works with young women, lady girls because of the GBV. So she's also part of the agro women in Bakre, and
That's very
also
good. Mm.
has another group who helping the women to be
Yeah.
who do girls in the
Because
community.
that
Yes,
defines already a line where you have lots of expertise, and whatever the caliber of the forum that we can do for the first time, whatever the
yes,
countries and the areas of discussion, this
yes,
area of developing the local communities in the area of agriculture, in the area
yeah,
of teaching women
yeah,
things that have to do from basic hygiene to whatever, how to develop the
yeah,
professions, is a
yes,
fundamental area, fundamental in all the countries. And
yeah,
so we
yeah.
can see that all that is taking shape, and that is very important that you can be very, very prominent there. And other
Okay.
people that you think that have a similar expertise.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. Yeah, and also our group, our menstrual group, which the group which will do the weaving, we were on industrial break. We closed, and now we are opening next week.
Yes,
Yeah,
fantastic. That's very
yeah, and
good.
Okay.
we are
Yeah.
starting them.
Yeah, yeah,
also.
yeah, yeah.
Good. And by the way, did you receive those herbs that I send you?
Not yet, because they are on industrial work. They are not working. Yeah, they are
Ah,
on industrial work. So I'll wait
ah.
for next week to go and find out.
Yeah, they should be there. I will check again because
Yes.
I am looking there. I have some of the papers. I have the number of
Okay.
the, and when you went on the previous trip, it said
Yes.
that the next day it would be delivered in the house. Maybe they came to deliver and nobody was there. I don't
Was
know.
there? Yeah, yeah. I
So
will go and find
I
out.
will verify again and I let you know. And when if they say that it's there, you can then call the office and pick up yourself
Yes.
if you have to
Yes.
go to
Yes.
Lusaka. No?
Yes. 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 It's
Yeah.
near where I'm living. I will go and find out. Yes.
Yes. Let me
Yes.
check in the computer. No? I send
All
you the
right.
papers, but probably you don't know where they are. No, the
Yeah.
paper with the registration of the Royal Mail, the
Okay.
number. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So uh, I think this is a very, even though a brief meeting, but it is a very nice report you have given us about your
Yes. Fascinating. Yeah.
trip for humanizing your uh, village of childhood.
Yes. 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 Please.
And then uh, I just want to, now if we can, I don't think that we need to have this meeting so long.
Yes.
That then on Thursday, the 5th of January, we will have this meeting of organization and planning of the African Humanist Forum. And
Yes.
then it will be nice to, if you could share your stories with, then we will hear about what has happened since last month,
Yes.
always in the first Thursday of each
Yes.
month, we have this organizational
Yeah.
meeting.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so you will get the invitation, and then you can spread it,
Oh.
hopefully. And
Yes.
I will not mix the times.
All right. You are welcome.
You also were waiting at from 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because
Yes.
I was going out to, shovel snow from my car, for
Yeah.
I'm going to move it tomorrow. So I was just forgot.
Distracted in that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mixed the time that it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
Yeah.
things happen.
Yes. 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 It happens. Yes.
yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. So yeah, it's very nice to see you. My regards to Max again, and we'll see how we can give ideas or support some opportunity of production that can help with the
Yes,
humanist
please.
type of thing.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
have the files that I will send to Julius for him to pass them on to you him
Yeah, yes.
about
Okay. Thank you very much.
the course on
Thank you.
journalism.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
Anthony.
So peace, force,
Okay.
and joy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You too. Take care.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Bye-bye.
All the
Okay.
best.
Bye
Bye.
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 Bye,
Thank
Julius.
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye. Bye bye.